Welcome back to Crystal Clear! I'm Ostrich Vox, and Cartoon Network has blessed us with the first official trailer for Steven Universe, the movie, which has all sorts of crazy status quo changes, new gems, a look into the gems' Grandmaster plan, Connie kissing Steven, and so much more. And as always, we're going to break it down for all the details you may have missed, getting into every nook and cranny, frame by freaking frame. And I will issue a spoiler warning, just in case anything in here ends up being too right. I respect your decision, but hit the road, Jack. Though I am the guy who many years ago once thought Bismuth and Steven had a really deep connection. Alright, let's dive in. We open up in what appears to be the Crystal Gem Town for all the uncorrupted gems. After Change Your Mind, these gems needed somewhere to live, and Homeworld may not have felt like home to them anymore. So within the 2-year gap between Change Your Mind and this film, I assume Bismuth, Lapis, and Peridot, alongside the other gems, constructed this paradise for gems to live. Now we know it is a Crystal Gem Town, as there's a giant circle of a star engraved onto the pavement. And as we know, a star is the Crystal Gem symbol. Now there's an oval in the center of the star. Steven and Amethyst are riding on a soon-to-be installed warp pad on said oval. Now is this warp pad a galaxy warp? With relations between Homeworld and the Crystal Gems better than ever, they may want to give the options for both sides to visit each other, communicate, cementing a true sense of unity. However, the size of the warp pads, or should I say the size who can fit on there, have always been inconsistent, so it could just be a normal warp pad. There's also a giant windmill, and the purpose of a windmill hints towards the solutions invented for Homeworld by Steven and the Crystal Gems. In the episode message received, Peridot mentioned alternatives to using a planet's organic resources for the gems. This could be an example of it in action. Windmills are used to convert the energy of wind into rotational energy, kinetic energy, things like pumping water. Wind turbines, a variation of windmills, can power electricity. In order to better accommodate a gem's needs, these methods of energy and resources could have been implemented on Homeworld, but really taken advantage of on Earth, given its history with Homeworld and colonization. Now, the design of this town greatly resembles Homeworld's design, using Homeworld's variety of shapes, colors, and aesthetic, like the pink diamonds and the shape of the clock tower, with Earth's materials. It's a perfect marriage to show Steven's two worlds. It seems as if the finishing touches of this town are still being put on, as Steven recently returned to the planet. There appears to still be construction, and Dragline Excavator in the background. It's likely that Season 6 can have 2 types of townie episodes, focusing on 2 different locations, Beach City and Gem City. Or Gemtown, I don't know. I don't name the names.
As much as I've loved dismantling the Empire and saving all your planets, I can't wait to get home and spend some quality time with my friends.
It appears Steven has spent the last 2 years helping Homeworld revive their colonies, preventing their demise, as we know what would have happened to Earth should the planet have remained a colony, and as we saw with the colony orbited by the Juggle Moon. However, his wording makes me think more could be going on than just the gems. Saving all your planets? Homeworld doesn't really own those planets. They were hijacked by the diamonds from alien races. Perhaps Steven has taken the first step to mend relations between Gemkind and other races. Or, if a majority of the alien races have died out, perhaps Steven just figures it's better to refer to it as Homeworld's planets until further notice. Steven could have restored those colonies with the aforementioned methods of windmills, maybe solar-powered energy, electricity, anything could be on the table. On one colony, Steven is broadcasting a video message, likely live from Pink Diamond ship. Considering the pink tint, the projection shape that's exact to the one when Peridot contacts Yellow Diamond message received, and just that I doubt Steven would dip out with a pre-recorded message, he's someone who values live interaction. We can make out what appears to be a Peridot, larger versions of the same cut of gems as the Heaven Beetle and Earth Beetle, though that may just mean they're different gems. They also remind me of aquamarines, which means they could just be barrels, which come in yellow, although the other gem seems to have a yellow pigmentation with purple or dark blue clothing material. The other gems are more of a mystery, although one kinda looks like a taller Era 1 Peridot, but the colors are off. We can also make out a spire in the background. Steven's broadcast has also reached Homeworld, with all 4 quartz active and all 4 diamond ships accounted for, meaning Steven's departure from the planet is very public and clear. I kind of wonder if the film opens up with a farewell ball, bringing the events of Diamond Days in particular to a calm full circle. We also begin to see the effects of Homeworld's Era 3. As opposed to the uniform diamond insignia formation, The gems of each core are scattered all over, bleeding into one another. It shows how the diamonds are shifting their focus from perfection and flawless behavior to individuality, happiness over perfection, and sharing lives with one another. Steven snaps a photo with Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl within that star-shaped pavement in Gemtown, which could be its own town square, likely to commemorate Steven's return and putting the finishing touches on the environment. As we see the product of the selfie on Steven's phone, the alternate angle reveals what appears to be a nearby cannon and Bismuth's relocated forge. No longer separated and distant from the other gems, the new forge is smack dab in the middle of the town. Perfect for gems to get weapon upgrades for nothing more than sport. Bismuth sparring sessions are probably quite popular amongst the newly settled in gems.
I want everything to stay exactly like this and never change.
Agreed.
Steven and Connie embrace. I'm assuming this is their reunion hug after Steven returns from his duties in space, and judging by the dome, they appear to be within the new diamond base attached to the remodeled temple and Steven's house. Notice the plants near Steven and Connie. They've bloomed hollyhock or hibiscus flowers, the same flower that once haunted Pink Diamond's pelican, Pearl wearing one of the flowers moments before staging the demise of Pink Diamond in a single pale rose, and this flower having a small yet powerful presence on the San Diego Comic-Con 2017 poster, which is also kind of a general poster representative of Season 5 as a whole. Perhaps Steven's theme with this new diamond base is for it to double as a greenhouse, creating life from nothing, echoing his mother's wishes and initial impression of Homeworld's conquest on the planet. Now, there's more on Steven and Connie's huge shit and dynamic later. Ooh. Steven and the Crystal Gems relax on the hill of the lighthouse. Steven holding what appears to be a California poppy, which she may have picked up himself or may have been given to him by Connie, with how contently he's holding the flower above his heart. Steven remarks what is always going to be the bad luck-inducing words, "I want everything to stay exactly like this and never change," which is not only just begging for danger to knock at your door, but it shows the necessity in the film's threat. While the villain does threaten Steven's way of life, his current mindset contradicts one of the strongest recurring themes in Steven Universe. Earth is always changing. People are always changing. By wanting things to stay the same forever, Steven is neglecting the idea of growth and progression that the Crystal Gems fought so hard for, that he nearly died for to get the diamonds to understand that way of living, but it hasn't brought the healthiest mindset into Steven's life. That's an important, hard-hitting message the film needs to touch on. There will always be an obstacle to overcome, but that doesn't mean you can't enjoy life and continue to fight for the things you believe in. You can reap the benefits while fighting the good fight. And yeah, while this mindset isn't harming anyone, nor is it committing mass genocide, when you look at it on paper, wanting things to remain perfect forever, with no flaws, no obstacles, that was Homeworld's previous mindset.
Why did everything have to change? I want my happily ever after back.
The movie's villain arrives with a lingering shot of her upside-down heart-shaped gemstone, which again looks like a Pete Sweetheart Morganite and a Pink Diamond cubic zirconia. You guys may be familiar with my theory that this gem is a Pink Diamond 2.0, a failed experiment at replacing Pink Diamond, which would explain why she moves unlike any gem we've ever seen before in the series. The lack of confirmation on this gem's identity kinda speaks for itself on their importance, and I believe the things found in this trailer plays into the Pink 2.0 theory more and more. Again, this gem moves unlike any gem we've seen before, and it's seemingly inspired by 1930s rubber hose animation, the first animation style that became standardized in the American animation industry. The defining feature of this style is rubber hose limbs, arms, and sometimes legs that are typically simple flowing curves, without articulation, no hinged wrists or elbows. Similar to Bismuth, this gem seems to have the ability to morph their limbs, namely hands, into different objects. Instead of their hands morphing into white light, however, the gem manipulates her own fingers to form an object, in this case, a horn, seemingly to gain the already captured attention of Steven and the gems, which plays into how childish and silly this gem truly is, crying for attention when she knows she already has it, which is kind of an extreme take on Pink Diamond, just saying. The machine rears its ugly head, preparing to drill into the earth. And it may be obvious to you by now, but this machine, it appears to be an injector used to create gems. This mega injector is also filled with a pink goo that's similar to the material that is usually found in injectors before drilling in the ground and popping in a soon-to-be gem. For whatever reason, This gem, who I believe to be a failed replacement of Pink Diamond, wants to create another gem using the Earth as the incubation, similar to the cluster. Now, I'm cooking up a separate theory video on this, but all I'll say is, as you can imagine, very few gems would need an entire planet. I'm very excited to share with you guys what I think is going on here. After the injector makes first contact with the ground, the gem descends from the sky, which unravels her second influence. Her spaghetti-like arms and legs that cause her to move almost like a slinky is familiar to a character dear to Rebecca Sugar, Monkey D. Luffy, protagonist of One Piece. Rebecca Sugar has cited One Piece as her favorite anime and a huge influence on Steven Universe, at one point even saying Steven Universe is just One Piece with aliens instead of pirates. Now, the influence is kind of clear with there being 4 diamonds in Steven Universe, which is similar to the 4 Emperors, or the Yonko, in One Piece. The Yonko being the 4 most powerful and notorious pirate captains across the seas. Big Mom, Marshall D. Teach, aka Blackbeard, Kaido, and Shanks. Like the diamonds, one of the Yonko, Shanks, is noticeably smaller than the other 3, with Blackbeard and Big Mom around the same size like Yellow and Blue, and Kaido being the largest, like White. More on Luffy's influence on this villain later. Stevens, why did things have to change? I want my happily ever after back ties back into the theme of nothing being perfect forever. Nothing is perfect, even life after you resolved all the major conflicts. Every chapter has a story, and every story has a journey you need to go through, no matter how long it's been or how hard you work to solve the last dilemma. But again, that can't prevent you from living and enjoying life. The villain's laugh is overlaid with them snarling, assumably at Steven and company. Steven clashes with what appears to be this gem's weapon. I believe it's a scythe, but as you can tell, it's not any kind of scythe, as Steven's contact immediately causes lines of pink energy to course through his body, similar to a gem destabilizer. Like his resistance to the technology in Jailbreak, Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl may have already been poofed, should this be the case. For this weapon to have gem destabilization abilities, it's likely not her natural weapon, but one invented on Homeworld. We get 3 distinct shots of the villain in action, which continues to punctuate her similarities to Monkey D. Luffy, throwing punches, grabbing towards someone, extending her arms, and even enlarging her fist, as Steven appears to be in suspended animation midair. The enlarged fist is similar to Luffy's Gear 3rd. Steven frozen in midair could be a result of the gem's ability, or is simply for dramatic effect. Notice the gem's lower half. Not only does she fully have Pink Diamond's color scheme, and as I mentioned before, Yellow Diamond shoulder pads and Blue Diamond's eye bags, but she also has Jester-like puffy pink pants, similar to Pink Diamond.
She brought this thing here to kill me.
We're dealing with 41 hours until the destruction of all organic life on Earth.
Steven's remark that this gem brought this thing here to kill him in the context of this trailer drives home the idea of this gem's vendetta being personal. If she is a failed Pink Diamond, she may regard Steven as another failed Pink Diamond, a disgrace to Homeworld's intended purpose. Really, with how much pink is plastered all over this trailer, this film could be an epilogue to the entire Pink Diamond Rose Quartz arc, having one final conflict that's directly tied to Pink, and thus directly tied to Steven. The injector begins to create faults in the earth right under Steven's own feet, a pink glue flowing like a river. Steven uses a super strength to remove the gem's injector by force from the drill up. Notice his gem is glowing, which may allude to how much of his strength he's utilizing. Perhaps it could be his potential diamond transformation, or his connection to the injector and its goo.
All organic life?
Yeah, like the animals, the plants, the insects, you know, people.
Flowers and grass wither away, large dark spots growing in their place, coinciding with Peridot's words. Much like how the Prime Kindergarten sucked away all surrounding life to create gems, this injector is performing the same task on a much larger scale, taking life and leaving nothing behind. This time, going after the entire planet. However, all organic life will be affected, seemingly regardless whether or not they make direct contact with the injector. Beach City is completely engulfed by this giant gem injector, and the substance it spread to create a gem. Notice how the injector itself is empty. The incubation of the gem is fully underway. Earlier in the week, I did a video speculating on Steven's new powers after the time skip, and these new powers may come to play here. I suggested that perhaps Steven could refine his phytokinesis, his healing abilities, not only getting closer to Rose's level, but surpassing it. And honestly, that may be the only way he can restore the Earth. If not, we may have to say goodbye to Beach City for good. Steven has to work a miracle. Because, yeah, Beach City, the entire landscape, it looks dead. And as we saw from Back to the Kindergarten, you can't exactly grow new life after an injector sucked the previous life away. If Steven does use his phytokinesis and healing powers to restore the town, then perhaps we'll see the Prime Kindergarten and Beta Kindergarten return fully back to life. Peridot casually explains the Earth's demise. Although not because she's uncaring towards the Earth, but by this point, she likely knows Steven and friends will save the day. She's confident. Why worry when they got this? They're able to keep Peridot's charm and quirks without regressing her character growth. But look at Peridot's tablet. There are pink atoms, what I assume may be the DNA of a gem, judging by the diamond-like molecule at the top right end. I'm just saying, it does look like Yellow Diamond and Blue Diamond's gemstone. Yeah, gems don't technically have DNA, they're not organic, but A, it's science fiction, and B, because it's science fiction, they should have something similar. The atoms of the substance that create gems are more or less that DNA. But also, I am no science whiz. Far from it. But if you think you can completely decipher this, let us know. Peridot's 41-hour remark tells me that this trailer is barely scratching the surface of what this film has to offer, likely only pulling from its first and third act. I doubt the situation would be neutralized in under 41 hours, or else why have that countdown? And I doubt the film will restrict the world of Steven Universe by keeping it confined to Beach City, having one long battle around the injector. There are so many surprises we haven't seen. They even teased a new fusion at the panel, but again, that's a dialogue for another video, so be sure to subscribe and have notifications. Before we continue, special thanks to The Ridge for sponsoring this episode. Their motto, carry less, live more, led to the creation of this minimalistic front pocket wallet designed to streamline what you carry. Fitting up to 15 cards, you should be able to carry everything you need on a day-to-day basis. I've been using this wallet consistently since the last time we spoke about them, and yeah, I love it. It doesn't take up any room, it's super easy to just stick cards in and take them out. As someone who's frequently on the move, this was a game changer. High recommend. Considering the over 30,000 5-star reviews, I may not be alone in this opinion. The Ridge wallet comes in titanium, carbon fiber, aluminum, and over a dozen different styles and colors. They also have backpacks and power banks, aka portable chargers, just to name a few things. Get 10% off today with free worldwide shipping by going to ridge.com/roundtable and use our promo code roundtable, or click the link in the description. Once you snag one, feel free to send us a picture with it. Ridge Wallet. Carry less, live more.
That's enough!
Pearl is forcibly pulled in by the mysterious new gem. This is probably who the gem was reaching for earlier, but notice how Pearl has her normal spear, and not her upgraded trident from Bismuth. This could show how Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl believe that the gem is not initially much of a threat, so there's no need to break out the upgrades, but they quickly learn that isn't the case. The gem yeets Steven into the air, again similar to Luffy, showing that at the very least, she's stronger than Steven than he is in his current form. Remember, Steven is likely one of the strongest gems in existence, as proven with the existence of Pink Steven, but as long as he's growing and has his humanity attached, he'll always have those powers in check, subconsciously restrained. The gem also manages to round up the main four for a moment. This appears to be in the same moment as her arrival, likely to give exposition on her evil plan. Steven falls off the top of the injector. It looks like he may be struggling to activate his floating powers. This could be after his attempt to confront the gem alone, as seen at the end of the trailer. Notice his battle-damaged clothes. His eyes also have dark circles under them, which many have pointed out were also present when his gemstone was removed by White Diamond. But Steven's physical state and change your mind was quickly and severely weakened to the point where he could barely move. For all intents and purposes, he was dying. So while I don't believe we'll see Pink Steven or Steven's gemstone removed again so soon, I do believe this is a result from the injector draining the Earth from all organic life. Peridot meant all. Steven being half organic is slowly dying as well. For him, it's a race against time in more ways than one. Although this trailer is actually mainly pulling from the film's first act, it may only be because Steven has been near the injector for so long that it's drained him, and retreating will restore his life force. The villain winds up another punch, and Steven summons his shield, and this made me so happy because the storyboards appear to be from Mickey Brewster, who brought a signature anime style to the show with their contributions in Season 5. So I'm glad to see they returned for the film, as what I assume to be the film's main theme, True Kind of Love, performed by Estelle and Zach Callison, plays. Breakdown on this song incoming as well, because I believe the lyrics give away details of the film's story. We see an intense close-up of Garnet's visor, her three eyes visible through the lens. We also have a different angle of the injector's impact, or after Steven removes it, the gem reinserts it as the crystal gems fail to defeat her in battle. The impact from the drill overtakes the boardwalk in pink smoke, including the big donut. I'm so nervous for the state of Beach City after this film. As Amethyst pulls a weakened Steven out of the way, notice his eye bags, the immediate clash and struggle illustrates how strong the gem is on her own. She can take Steven, who again has his unaware human restraint, but can't easily overpower Garnet. She's going to rely more on tricks and technology, outsmarting the gems, than overtaking them with strafe alone. We get the shot of the gems fusing into Alexandrite, with a new look sporting Garnet's visor and torso design. Although I'm disappointed she doesn't have Pearl's jacket. I'm just saying, Pearl better have a fusion in this film, and they better keep her jacket. Opal? The crystal gems are embracing each other in the middle of a fall, which could be in the middle of battle, or perhaps the gem retreats. But the lack of Steven's dark circles clues me in that this is likely before really gets real. We cut to Peridot, Lapis, and Bismuth in the Gem Town on what appears to be the top of the windmill. And Bismuth has a new reformation! Overalls with gold details instead of an apron. I'm imagining Bismuth likely got pooped and reformed in a sparring session with one of the uncorrupted gems. But it was all in good fun, and she probably loved the thrill of it. Lapis also appears to be very happy, which, knowing the character and her journey, is a very big deal. Protect that smile. Sugar actually remarked at the panel during Q&A that Lapis has a family unlike any she's had before. Don't worry, we'll break all those down in another video as well. Oh god, so much Steven stuff to talk about, so little time. Amethyst and Pearl are descending upside down in the sky, glowing pink. This pink glow could be a result of the gem villain's actions, affecting the gems in a mysterious way, giving them a race against time, or more likely than not, these two are forming Opal. Amy Mann, Opal's voice actress, was confirmed for the film as a performance, so we're probably gonna get an Opal musical number? I'm so excited! Giant blinding white light escapes her warehouse windows. The warehouse in question reads Del Mar Van Distribution Center. I think during the time skip, Greg may have invested and started up a van business. Steven and the gem seeking refuge in the warehouse to devise a plan. But this white light kind of screams fusion to me. Perhaps one entirely new. Or maybe for this much light, perhaps it's obsidian. Steven, battle damage, is floating in the sky. It appears he may be singing, so this could be during a musical number, and the same scene where the gem pulls out her gear third. So perhaps we have a musical number that's also part action scene, where Steven tries to appease the gem mid-battle, but fails? Steven and Greg are surrounded by two large flames, playing guitars. Steven playing a guitar may indicate that he outgrew the ukulele, as Greg did imply in the We Are the Crystal Gems short that it was just to get Steven started on instruments. And that baby Steven picked up the ukulele crazy fast. Now this could be to combat the gem, somehow working in how great humans are into her defeat, or it could be for Beachapalooza. Not as exciting, but hear me out. The San Diego Comic-Con Beach City Karaoke stage has posters that seem to tie into the movie, that allude to another Beachapalooza being in town, which would be a perfect time for the events of this film to take place. Their intense faces could just be for dramatic effect, to show how determined they are to kick butt and win. Steven hugs Amethyst. With a lack of battle damage or drained eyes, and colorful skies, this indicates this could be their reunion when Steven returns to Earth. Happy to see his sister. Now for a lot of people, this is the biggest part of the trailer. Connie kisses Steven on the cheek. But still, Connie kissed Steven! Now I imagine they're probably dating. But again, this film could be how they officially become boyfriend and girlfriend. Connie's around 15 now, so she should be in high school. I would love to see them hit up a school dance. Maybe Steven's return could coincide with fall, aka when schools have their homecoming, which is why the film is airing in fall. Although although that may not line up with Beachapalooza unless they moved around those dates. Now, the background of Steven's remodeled house shows Greg and Rose photo reframed, Steven no longer having identity issues with his mother, fully embracing her, Space Train to the Cosmos, Greg's debut and only album, a photo of Greg, which could be from Rose or a recent Polaroid. His hair is telling me that Steven may have just taken this photo, but you never know. There's Vidalia's painting of Steven and Garnet from pool hopping, and a Cartoon Network Studios mug. We see Steven the Gem singing and a similar pose to the poster, which could be from the opening musical number that we might have information on, possibly? Stay tuned! Again, different video, I'm going to teach you guys so good. And the trailer concludes with Steven crawling up the injector with drained eyes, which could be from the third act of the film. Beach City seems pretty abandoned with pink faults and cracks spread throughout. Again, as Steven is alone here when he confronts the gem, the crystal gems may be poofed or in critical condition, moved elsewhere. This could tie into the idea of this gem being another pink diamond. The two quote-unquote failed pink diamonds having one huge confrontation. Also, they noticed the initial hole from the drone's first insertion point before Steven removed it. Guys, I'm so excited for this film. As you can see, there's a lot crammed in just from this trailer. I mean, I can't even imagine what the final version of this video is going to look like. And I'm just so excited. It's a month and a half away. Again, a lot closer than I was expecting. Labor Day, so most people should have school off. I'm not sure about work. The future of Steven Universe is here, and if the movie's close, Season 6 could be even closer. But as always, I want to hear what you guys think. Was there anything we missed in our breakdown? What do you think is going on? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, or tweet your thoughts at RoundTableVids. And for more of my own thoughts, you can find me at OstricVox. We're also on Instagram. Help the Roundtable grow either becoming a member of this channel or supporting us over at Patreon. Link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please throw it a like and subscribe to the Roundtable for more great cartoon content. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. OstricVox, signing out.